He didn't appreciate what Rollins did last week when he went to shake the hand. Rollins refused. Adam Cole was offended by it. He cannot wait to make Seth Rollins respect. Jay White headed to... No! Jay White! Turn around! Switchblade! And that prick takes the TV title and stands over Jay White with it. That is what he seeks. That's what the Clockwork Project wants. Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is ECW. Well, having the last 2 weeks been interesting for this brand as we head towards WrestleMania, as we head towards the main event, no less. As we head towards Adam Cole versus Seth Rollins for the ECW Championship. Last week, Cole had a bit to say about the ECW Champion. Tonight, the champion will respond because to kick things off this evening, we aren't going to waste any time. We are going to hear from the ECW Champion here this evening, right away. The moment I finish yapping, but here, we're going to be hearing from Rollins on what was said about him by Adam Cole last week, I imagine, and heading into his match here tonight. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's a double whammy for Seth Rollins this evening. He's opening up the evening, and he'll be closing the evening. Two of the very best talents this universe has ever seen squaring off one-on-one. Seth Rollins, Austin Aries, 1v1 here tonight. The man who has won 9 titles in this universe versus the man who has held on to that ECW Championship for coming up to 600 days in the main event of the evening. Gonna be a big one. Aries may not have been on his form as of late. That doesn't change the fact that he is still a world-class athlete. But before we get into any of that, let's kick things off with Seth Rollins. And here he comes towards the ring. Seth Rollins already in his attire to wrestle later on this evening. As for right now, it is about opening his mouth. It is about having quite a few things to say regarding what happened last week here on ECW. Rollins was not here last week. He was training for the WrestleMania match, of course, as you'd expect from a man who has held the ECW Championship for so long, who has almost broke his back carrying ECW on it for the last 2 years, essentially. Rollins, the microphone in his hand, and with quite a bit that he has to say, I imagine, here tonight. The floor belongs to the ECW Champion, and Rollins saying that we're already going to be blessed by his match later on tonight, but before we get to that, there is indeed some talking to do, and that talking revolves around one Adam Cole. He heard what Adam Cole said last week. He heard and he saw what he did last week as well. He listened to it all, and he has plenty to say back to the man who he'll face at WrestleMania. No surprise there. Rollins had a week to think about it all. He came out here, Adam Cole did last week. He impressed him against Zack Sabre Jr., and then he had to open his mouth. He thinks that Rollins doesn't respect Cole. That's fine. He can believe what he wants to believe. But he does respect him. He survived the Royal Rumble. He earned his respect when he beat everyone else. But when it comes to that, that's about it for Rollins in terms of respect. And since we're complaining about actions, as Adam Cole did last week, he believes that Adam Cole stepped over a line last week, saying that he doesn't know how a champion should act. To which Rollins says, how would he know? His 2 minutes of cuddling the title was a joke. He doesn't know the first thing about being a world champion, and Adam Cole won't after WrestleMania either. Now, things are starting to get heated. And if Adam Cole was going to accuse anyone of acting this way, they should pick anyone other than Seth Rollins, the man who has carved a Mount Rushmore-sized sculpture on ECW. He knows what it means to be the champion, and his legacy will continue to be created, continue to be chiseled after WrestleMania. As Cole has already shown, he can't win the big one. He can say whatever he wants about not respecting him. It's invalid to Rollins. What is valid, though, is that he can't win when it matters. He doesn't remember seeing Adam Cole's name on the Superstar of the Year awards, and he is going to face the man who dominated it. He wasn't there because he isn't good enough to be on the level of Seth Rollins, and at WrestleMania, Adam Cole will learn it. You want to play with fire, Rollins will burn you down, Adam Cole, and you're learning that right now. Adam Cole ran his mouth and Seth Rollins made him pay. It's all gearing up as we head into WrestleMania. Cole, you better pay close attention to what Rollins does tonight, because you won't learn from it. You will be living it at WrestleMania. Well, wherever Adam Cole this evening, if he's at home training, if he's in the arena backstage, I don't know. I haven't seen Cole since last week. Wherever he is, I hope you pay close attention to what Seth Rollins had to say there. Nevertheless, time to get things underway with ECW tonight. Interesting match to kick things off. Akira Tozawa being handed a great opportunity here by yours truly as he goes one-on-one against the Cruiserweight Champion Hiromu Takahashi. Interesting actions from Takahashi last week. I think that's the most simple way we can put it. When he stood up on the ramp, up where Takahashi just stood, as Mustafa Ali was celebrating his victory over... God, I forgot who it was already. Well, that shows you, we're busy men in these weeks. Sometimes you can't remember things that quickly. Obviously, I don't remember off the top of my head. I'm not going to spend a long time remembering. But Ali was in the middle of celebrating. He was enjoying his victory. And then Takahashi just stood up there. And they looked each other down. It was a very interesting scenario. I asked Ali what did he think about it after the showing off the air. And he said that he doesn't quite know yet. He didn't know what to make of what Takahashi did, but he thinks that he has caught the attention of the time bomb, and Ali is more than happy that that is the case. Yes, and I wonder if Takahashi will have caught the attention of Ali as well as he heads towards the ring here for this non-title match this evening. Hiromu Takahashi, of course, having held that title now since New Year's Revolution, the second reign as the Cruiserweight Champion. I believe this is the first time these two men will have squared off against one another. It was Buddy Murphy. There we go. Just popped in on the top of my head. It was Buddy Murphy who Ali beat last week. Fixed. And now we prepare for this one to get underway here. ECW about to start. These two men about to lock horns with one another. Definitely more so different kinds of cruiserweight. Takahashi is a very explosive, innovative, unknowing kind of athlete, I suppose would be the best way to put it. Whereas... Akira Tozawa is a very hard-hitting. He's actually very, he's a cruiserweight by name, essentially. But his actions within this ring, they are very strong style in many ways, and that is definitely a side of him that could benefit him. But of course, Takahashi is also well-versed in the strong style side of things. Doesn't change the fact that Takahashi is a hard hitter, but also an explosive wrestler. Tough man to read is the time bomb, because you never really know what he's got up his sleeve. Went for a hurricanrana there to Takahashi. Met with a big, Tozawa, got met with a big power bomb. But right back into things on the Cruiserweight Champion. It may well be the case that Takahashi has his eyes on Ali, but can't ignore the fact that Tozawa with a victory here could very well set himself up for the Cruiserweight Championship. It's an interesting evening for WrestleMania matches as well. The second round of the other match from the tag team title tournament will commence later on this evening. Actually, up next, the Good Brothers against the Wyatt family. What a match that's going to be. Oh, super kick in the leg there. Double foot stop from Takahashi. This is the innovative, explosive offense that I talked about. You cannot prepare to read something like that from Takahashi. Cover made on Tozawa. But he kicks out at the count of one. Back up to their feet they go here. Kick in the gut now from Akira Tozawa. Look to line it up. Gets countered there by Takahashi. Off the ropes. Duck under from Takahashi. Gets swatted away. Takahashi, of course, can't ignore how important this opportunity is for him to be in the same ring as the Cruiserweight Champion. And only that, but to try and beat him as well. Oh, that's your title match right there. That's how Zach Gibson got his title match at Guilty as Charged. Cover made off of that Tiger Suplex. Kick out at one. Tozawa's doing a good job so far, but he's got to do a little bit more to try and capitalize here. Takahashi sits him down there. Boot in the chest of Akira Tozawa. And oh, stomped a hole right in it as well. Wait a minute. I thought Takahashi was looking for D right there. Not the case. He's sitched down on one arm and he's talking on the other, pulling it back. A hard and Hurtful move for Tozawa to be in. Does a good job of slipping his way out of it, though. No doubt about that one. Turns him around right away. Went for the Tiger. Now the Dragon Suplex. Cover made. Trying to put away Takahashi. Look at that. The time bomb. Kicked out and kipped up from that one. Great put away from Takahashi there as he prepares to try and end things now. Plunger. Got him with it. Covers Tozawa right now. Is it enough? Kick out at 2 from Akira Tozawa. He needs to get himself in this one, but he might not be given the chance. Stomp on the arm. And Takahashi is in the right place at the right time. Tozawa hits some big moves, but Takahashi is going to hit the biggest. Time bomb! And with 1, 2, and 3, Takahashi victorious here on ECW. It was never in doubt, to be fair. The time bomb is a class above the rest right now. The Cruiserweight champion has his eyes set on one guy, and he very well celebrates the victory here to kick things off. Victory for Takahashi. Disappointment for Tozawa as he walks up the ramp and... Oh, wait a minute. Takahashi's reaction tells the story right there. The theme of Mustafa Ali. And Ali himself is heading towards the ring. It seems as if that it's his turn to make his way on the stage. But this time, Ali walking right into the ring to stare face to face with the Cruiserweight champion. A very brave move from Ali, it can be argued. A very, well, straight to the point move by Ali there. Takahashi enjoys standing back and watching on a little, but Ali wasn't interested in that. Making his way right down to the ring. Takahashi with a shake of the head there. Maybe he's a little bit annoyed that Ali, took up this celebration time for the time bomb. I'm not too certain. But Ali, with a microphone in hand, definitely has something to say to the champion. Ali with a microphone now saying that he knows Hiromu enjoys his games, but he's not here to play them. For near enough 6 months, they've stood toe-to-toe with one another, but never faced one-on-one with that title on the line. Ali has said so many times he's come close, and he is sick of it. Not a surprise there. And Ali putting out the challenge, saying no messing around. 2 weeks from now, him and Takahashi in the ring. The Cruiserweight title on the line. Takahashi can stand in silent all he wants, but Ali wants this shot. He's not going to be second best any longer. He's coming for that title, and he'll defuse the time bomb to do it. Oh, Ali with a challenge to Takahashi right here, right now. How interesting will it pan out the way Ali wants it to, I wonder? Just have to find out, won't you? And a wee busy on the A show. Happened again. Here we go, though. Moving on. Next match of the evening. This is going to be a big one. The Good Brothers against the Wyatt family. The 4-time tag team champions hoping to appear on the 3rd WrestleMania in a row. 2-0 on the grandest stage of them all, these guys are. And looking to add to their records, their history-making run with a 5th tag team title to their name. What an opportunity that would be for the Good Brothers. I have said it time and time again. I mean, I value these guys as friends, remember. We go way back in the Bullet Club days, but I'm not giving them favoritism, and you could tell because they have to fight their way in this tournament, just how every other team in this tournament has to fight their way through it. But I have said it time and time again, and I will stand by it. These two men are the greatest tag team in the world. The voting said otherwise for the Slammies, but I still stand by my opinion. At the end of the day, yes, you have the majority of you have different opinions to me, but I stand by my opinion. These two men are the greatest tag team in the world. The end. However, the team they're facing, oh well, that took care of that. And I didn't even get to start talking about them because they're in the ring and the match has already begun. Braun Strowman and Luke Gallows starting things off in this one. Well, that was a pretty fired up way to get things underway, and already the tag is being made into Aleister Black. Here we go. What I was going to say was it's going to be an interesting contest for this team because of that man right there, the legal man, the king of the ring for 2019. Aleister Black in his first match since winning 3 bouts in one night at Korakuen Hall to become the King of the Ring. And now he gets a chance to prove himself. This one's going to be a good one. Aleister Black and Braun Strowman representing the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt by their side in this one, as Carl Anderson wanted to get himself tagged in pretty damn early here. He wanted to go toe-to-toe with Aleister Black, and he's getting that opportunity right here, right now. We saw Strowman and Gallows squaring up with one another last week on ECW. It was Strowman who picked up the win. Aleister Black is on top of the world right now. His momentum is leading him places. There's no denying it. And we are going to find out just how far it will lead him. Good God, what a double team there from the Wyatt family. They are all business in this match right now as Braun Strowman is tagged back in. Carl Anderson going face to face with him, though, toe to toe. That's the bravery from the machine gun. Irish whip drop kick. Strowman doesn't come off his feet. Wrong turnbuckle, I would argue Anderson sending him into, and he's paying for it because here comes the powerbomb. And just dumping him off to the side there. Braun Strowman already might be looking for an emphatic win over the most successful team in the history of this universe. Wait a minute. Anderson, oh look at this from Anderson now. Running the ropes, outschooled, outplayed Braun Strowman. And not only that, but took the monster among men right off his feet. Tag made now. In comes Luke Gallows in a continuation from last week's match here. Gallows against Strowman here. Bray Wyatt with a close eye on this, as I imagine are Chris Jericho and Apollo Crews, the tag team champions. I have wondered at WrestleMania if Horseman rules, if they will take business into their own hands and maybe send Jericho and Strong in there to try and defend the titles. I'm not 100% certain on it. I don't know, to be honest. Suppose we'll see on the night, maybe heading into it. But regardless of this, next week, of course, this team, the winner of this match, will face the British Empire, Neville and Drew McIntyre. That one going to be a big one, because whichever team wins here, I mean, it's basically the same one. You've got the brute of the British Empire in Drew McIntyre, and you've got the smaller, agile one in Neville. Same goes for the Good Brothers and the Wyatt family as well. Nice DDT there from Aleister Black. The King of the Ring has been quite fired up since getting into this match. A big backbreaker there, did he? 300+ pounder, 7 foot. Luke Gallows, high kick in the head as well. Aleister Black not messing around right now. Lifts Gallows up. Black Mass! Black Mass! Black Mass struck out of nowhere. Covers made. Anderson not only made the save, but took out the referee in the process. Referee nowhere to be seen. And Braun Strowman got knocked down to the outside. The fight continuing on the outside, but only briefly. What a lariat from Strowman, and a clubbing blow that knocked him off his feet as well. Anderson down on the outside. Meanwhile, in the ring, single leg Boston Crab. Black was looking for the submission, but he couldn't get it. Gallows on his own right now. What will happen here? Look at this. Oh, what a gutbuster to the King of the Ring. Aleister Black fighting back right away. Their shoulder tackle, and Gallows goes down. I gotta be honest, this is not the Good Brothers that I remember from 2017, or even from the start of last year. They seem to have lost an edge to them. And on top of that, the Wyatt family has gained an edge to them. And the monster among men with the running power slam. Look at that. The same as last week, about 700 pounds. Colliding into the ring. And the cover is made. Dragged him closer to the Wyatt family corner. Aleister Black takes care of Anderson. And the Wyatt family, for all intents and purposes, they won that fairly easily. There are your winners. Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, and a very camp celebration from them as well. This is fucking fantastic. Sister Abigail must be absolutely elated at this one. Well, they're definitely bringing out their inner Sister Abigail as they celebrate this win, that's for certain. Look at the finger guns from Braun Strowman. Where was I again? Oh yeah, Wyatt family, British Empire, next week. Here on ECW, the winners go on to face the Four Horsemen, Chris Jericho and Apollo Crews at WrestleMania. That is to come next week, hopefully with much less finger guns. Fingers crossed. Don't go doing that one, Strowman. Nevertheless, now that moment is completely and utterly ruined, let's move on to our next contest of the evening, because why the fuck not? Coming up next, he finally gets his hand on a member of the Clockwork Project, Jay White against Trevor Lee, up next. We saw it last week on ECW. Jay White was supposed to get his hands on his friend turned rival in Sami Callihan. That match, though, never happened. Corin laid him out in the entrance ramp that Trevor Lee walks down now. But Jay White, after the show, no assistance backstage. White got up by his own 2 feet, got up by his own admission, and said, give me Trevor Lee. If he's not going to get his hands on Callihan, he'll get his hands on someone. He said he's sick of what the Clockwork Project are doing already, and he says that he will strike a blow to Corin right now and make sure that a statement message is sent in response, because Jay White has had enough already. What I fear, though, with White saying that, with him saying he's had enough, is he is playing right into the hands of Corin. He has literally just leapt into the arms of that sick son of a bitch. But Jay White can play his own games as well. The Switchblade is more than capable of it, but can he continue to make sure that he's the one dictating how things go and not Corin? Trevor Lee stands alone on this occasion. Last time we saw him, he decimated a local competitor. An easy victory for him on that evening. And I wonder what instructions would have been given to him by Callihan and by Corin especially. What would Corin have put into his mind? What would he have told him to do heading into this match? How would he have made sure to get across the point of what he wants him to do to that man right there, I wonder? Jay White, of course, is no stranger to competition. He's no stranger either to having an outnumbered situation. Remember, he won that title in an 8-man elimination match back at New Year's Revolution. But that is, you know, I don't think Jay White's ever found himself in this predicament. He's been outnumbered in terms of that kind of occasion, but he's never had all the eyes on him. And that's exactly what he's got right now. The outnumbered eyes are all looking at the Switchblade, and they're looking at that television title. Well, right now it's a chance for Jay White to get a semblance of revenge, a symbolic state of revenge, I think the best way would be to put it, as he gets underway here against Trevor Lee. Jay White exploding out of the gates right away, running lariat. Last time we saw the Switchblade in action would have been back at Guilty as Charged, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time ago. But Jay White is back here, and he's ready to compete once again. Headlock STO, and he drives Trevor Lee into the mat. And you can just see the aggression in every move that White is hitting so far. Lee, I think, has just been completely taken off guard by this. Remember, Lee believed that, well, Lee joined the Clockwork Project because he believed he had been overlooked by everyone, including myself. He believed that he was deliberately being treated as an outcast to society. And that is why he attacked Jay White alongside Callihan at Guilty as Charged. Well, right now, this is his chance to prove it, because he has to do the Clockwork Project's dirty business, especially that of Corin's. Clubbing blows there from Trevor Lee. White tried to cover up to the best of his ability, but still got decked by them. What's Lee going to go for now? Not too certain, because White is starting to get up to his feet there, but not right back down. Look at this now. Lee putting the boots to the Switchblade. Stomping away at him still. Look at this. Just this aggression right now from Trevor Lee on Jay White. Drag him into the middle of the ring. This is Jay White's got back in the ring. It's been all Trevor Lee. And he's trying to maintain that control as well. Stops whatever Jay White was looking for. There is a kick in the face as well, and White trying to I was reeling right now. This is definitely a different side of Trevor Lee. He's very much so holding his own right now. Oh, but went running in on Wyatt. Got blasted with a boot right in the face. Wyatt, though, uncharacteristically going to the top rope, and he paid for it. Trevor Lee. What in the world is Trevor Lee going to look for now? Superplex, maybe. Falcon arrow from up high. A devastating blow for the Switchblade. And Trevor Lee, oh my goodness, running double foot stomp. And it could be a case of lightning striking twice. Never mind. I thought he was going to look for that suplex powerbomb again. Much the same how he connected with it. A guilty as charged, but Jay White put a stop to it. But now it's White's job to fight back here. Striking into the ribs of Trevor Lee there. Jay White now, this time, gets the back suplex. And again, he has the arm here, talking on it, tweaking on it. Strikes in the gut by Trevor Lee. He is still holding his own. There's no denying it. Counted there by Jay White. However, wait a minute! Blade Runner! From out of the blue, the Blade Runner strikes. And has he done enough here? No, he hasn't. Trevor Lee kicks out at 2. Corin, Callahan, wherever they are, they've got to love that Lee is still fighting on here. Went for the drop kick. White denies it. Trevor Lee is really being a thorn in the side of Jay White right now. There's that stomp again. Went for the chop in the chest. Good counter there by Jay White. Has to be said. Back suplex attempt again, and he'll get it once more. Trevor Lee is a different man under Corin, and you can just see from the way he's able to counter everything. Looking for a slam, there was Jay White, and Trevor Lee put the brakes on it. Big counter from Lee, and again, he'll look to strike big. Imagine what this would do mentally and physically, but it's not going to do anything. White counters it, turns him round now. Oh, good God, capture suplex. Right down on the head and the neck for Trevor Lee into Blade Runner. And the cover made from White with 1, 2, and 3. Jay White victorious, but not the victory he would have wanted, because he had to earn that one. He had to fight hard for it, but he has sustained it. White, your winner. A subdued victory. And oh no, Callahan standing on the stage, but worse is to come. Corin through the crowd on Jay White. And as Callahan watches on from the ramp, Corin on White from behind. Clock strikes 12. The Switchblade goes down. The Clockwork Project stand tall again. I think it goes without saying that something needs to be done about the Clockwork Project. I never thought and I never wanted to see the day where those two, where that man was on this brand. But he is, and there's not much I'm doing about it right now, because the truth is, there's not much I can do about it. He's doing as he pleases. Nevertheless, let's move on here. Jay White caught off guard for God knows how many weeks in a row now by the Clockwork Project. The numbers game works into their advantage. I believe White is... I think he's blinded. I honestly do. I think he's blinded by the aggression, by the hatred that he has for Sami Callahan, and now for Corin. But he's got his eyes too fixated on one to focus on the other, and in all honesty, I think he's focusing on completely the wrong guy. Talk about that guy until I'm blue in the face, but he'd probably enjoy that, to be honest. Let's leave it there and let's move on to our next contest of the evening. Once again, like we saw on SmackDown this past week, WrestleMania might not beckon these two men. Some might see that as a tragic shame, but regardless of that, we're still in for an entertaining contest here. Kenny Omega, Katsuyori Shibata 1-on-1 this evening. And just my luck that as we head into the latter end of this evening, as we prepare for Seth Rollins to be in action, just my luck that I'm starting to get sick, apparently. Must be something to do with this Houston, eh? Kenny Omega heading towards the ring here. Of course, Omega last year... actually, I think... I don't know. Kenny Omega wasn't on WrestleMania last year either. How very interesting. 3 years in this universe now, and to the best of my knowledge, Kenny Omega has not appeared at the grandest stage of them all. Which is a little bit interesting for me, in all honesty. Shibata, of course, heading into his first WrestleMania, but he's not going to be on it unless something drastic changes. I say WrestleMania doesn't beckon these two guys. I mean, you never know what could happen in the next 2 weeks. It's, well, over the 2 shows that follow heading into WrestleMania, but the honest truth is that I think that's a bit too close to be talking about WrestleMania matches, maybe. I don't know. That might just be me. But what this does show for these two men is after WrestleMania. What to talk about after the grandest stage of them all. The same with Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe last night on SmackDown Live. It's about what we see once the curtain has been raised, or rather drawn, my apologies, has been drawn on WrestleMania and be raised on a new time in this universe. Of course, Kenny Omega would love nothing more than to be ECW champion. He talked about it heading into Guilty as Charged when he faced Adam Cole for his right to the main event of WrestleMania. He said the only reason he was doing it was because he was desperate. He needed to face Seth Rollins, and it was the only way he was going to do it in his eyes. Shibata had a pretty interesting Royal Rumble on that evening. Picked up an elimination of one Andrade Cien Almas, if I remember correctly. Might be wrong on that one. But yeah, that was eliminated by Andrade. Well, he eliminated Andrade. It was one of those two things. Shibata hasn't really hit the ground running here on ECW in the same way that he did on SmackDown Live, but I think that has to do with the names that we have on this roster. Drew McIntyre, Aleister Black, Tetsuya Naito, Kenny Omega, Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. We are stacked to the brim with stars, and the honest truth is that, without sounding disrespectful, I think the draft could do good for some of those guys. They get an opportunity elsewhere. They could go to a brand that maybe may be able to utilize them better. And the other problem is, of course, is that, you know, we see a lot of these big names, but one thing has always stayed constant, and that's the man at the top in Seth Rollins. It's just the way the cookie crumbles, essentially. That's the way things go. Jawbreaker there by Kenny Omega. Looked like he was maybe thinking about a running move there, but the only thing that was running was that lariat into the face of the Best Bout Machine. Of course, Omega can relish in the fact that last year, well, from last year, he did take home the Match of the Year award in his title versus title match against Seth Rollins, and I don't think anyone was surprised by that one. What a phenomenal match it was. A great victory for Seth Rollins on that evening as well. Of course I'm going to bring that part up. What's going on the outside now between these two guys? Into the barricade there goes Shibata. Head first into it. Nothing to stop him colliding with the corner of the barricade there. Referees count up to 4, I believe. And Omega not going to waste any time, bringing them back into the ring here maybe. Wait a minute. Oh, face first into the apron. And a big leaping knee. Is that a V-trigger there by Omega maybe? Kind of 6 or 7 that was. And we're back in the ring. Speaking of V-triggers, Omega goes to the turnbuckle. He eyes up Shibata. Slice to the throat. V-trigger. Running V-trigger to Shibata as he put him away here. Cover made. 1, 2. Ooh, I don't even know if he got 2 on that one, truth be told. Omega looks a bit frustrated, but this is the move to put him away. This is the move that has won him so much glory in this universe. 2 King of the Rings and 2 titles to go with it. 1 Winged Angel. And Shibata has been not put to rest just yet. Omega thought he had him. Shibata kicks out at 2. And now I think the wrestler has woken up. And I believe, here we go right about now. Shibata taking control. Neck crank, working the arm, working over. Oh, working over Kenny Omega, sleeper hold from Shibata. Omega frantically moving his arms around, trying to not fade out. Jawbreaker gets him out of that hold and creates some separation. Shibata stumbles slightly as well. Omega now sending them back to the outside. Maybe a bit of an advantage out here for him, in all fairness, I wonder. Omega just slapping Shibata in the face. Super kicks him in to that announce table there. I have no idea who those three men are sitting there, but I'm so glad it's not me. Up on the shoulders there. Big counter by Shibata. Reverse DDT on the thin padding on the outside. That is a nasty impact for Omega. Back in the ring we go now. Shibata sends them back into the ring. Then he might be about to send something devastating into the chest of Kenny Omega. Roll through. PK! Cover made. And with 1, 2, 3, Shibata beats Omega. This was a match to showcase what these two men are all about, and I would argue that it may well be one of the very first times on ECW that Shibata has been awake, that Shibata has literally kicked the door down. Because if I was any champion right now, Jay White, Seth Rollins even, I'd have my eye on this guy and I'd think, yes, I know what I've got to do. Or rather, I know who's got my attention right now, but after WrestleMania, I may well have to deal with that. Let's be honest, I know he got hit with that one-winged angel, but Shibata looked fairly comfortable after it. It's like he took the punishment and he was like, I'm fine. Shibata, your winner there in a fun, fast-paced match, but it's time for our main event of the evening. Strap yourselves in because two of the greatest superstars to ever grace this universe are up next. Austin Aries against the greatest of all time. For the first time since the Royal Rumble, he's back in action. Seth Rollins. Last week didn't go quite the way that Austin Aries wanted it to, quite the way the greatest team that ever lived wanted it to. That doesn't change the fact that he's in for a big match here tonight against Seth Rollins. His first time in the big stages in a long, long time. Has to be said about that for Austin Aries. The first time he's really been in this kind of stage in a long time. But that doesn't change the fact that this guy is a star in this universe. I've talked about this so many times. Former ECW champion, two-time World Heavyweight champion, former WWE champion. That's 4 world titles. Two-time Intercontinental champion. Former ECW Tag Team Champion, former Cruiserweight Champion, and I believe, unless I'm mistaken, I still haven't looked up this one, former Hardcore Champion. If that is the case, that's 9. No one has that many. No one has that many but him. Think about some of the most prolific guys in this universe. Rollins, 3 ECW title reigns, 2 ECW television title reigns, 1 WWE Tag Team title reign. That's 6. That just ain't 9. So you compare that in terms of their titles won. Austin Aries is the man on top. 9 title reigns, I believe. If not, it's 100% 8 to his name. But I'll tell you one thing he doesn't have is a record like this one. 9 title wins, congratulations. That just means that what that also means though is that you lost those 9 titles. What this man hasn't done for nearly 600 days is lose that title. Seth Rollins has been the man on top of the mountain. And all that's happened is many have tried to climb up and many have been kicked back down. Rollins, as a matter of fact, climbed up the mountain and now the mountain is named after him. This is the mountain of Seth Rollins. This is Mount Rollins. He talked earlier on tonight about how he carved his own Mount Rushmore side legacy on ECW. This is Mount Rollins now. This is Rollins territory, as he has proven since August 2017, when most of you weren't even watching. Rollins began his legacy. To put that into perspective, the majority of people watching ECW right now only know Seth Rollins as ECW champion. That's it. That's the legacy he's left behind. And there's been no favoritism, no helping him out. No buddy. Look at the guys who he faces every single month. Look at that, who he faces every time he put that title on the line. From Kenny Omega to Tetsuya Naito to a 30-minute Iron Man match with Kyle O'Reilly. And you tell me that I give this guy an easy break. That's not how Rollins does things. But Adam Cole has the audacity to tell Rollins that's not how a champion should act. Yes, I'm sure Seth Rollins wants to listen to a guy who lost his United States Championship to Zack Ryder. I'm sure that's the kind of person who Seth Rollins wants to listen to. Give me a break. I respect you, Adam Cole, much the same as how Seth Rollins... Whoa, last chance really on in this match here from Austin Aries. That's won him a great deal of success. Actually, I was on about the 9 titles thing. It definitely is 9 titles at the minimum, because to my knowledge, I think Aries has won the Cruiserweight title twice. So that's a little bit of an interesting tidbit for you. It could be 10. If he has a hardcore title reign, it's 10. So there you go, it's 9 at the very least. Oh my god, just booted him right in the face. But come on. Like, you could talk about respect all you want. Yeah, okay, maybe you do want your WrestleMania opponent to respect you, and I understand that, Adam Cole. But to say that what Rollins does, that what he did 2 weeks ago when he didn't shake your hand, is not how a champion should act, I'm sorry, but Rollins can do whatever the hell he wants. He's human just like you. He doesn't have to listen to what you have to tell him either. He can do as he damn well pleases. And the reality is that when it comes to being a champion, when it comes to knowing what a champion should and shouldn't do, Rollins can do whatever the hell he likes. Rollins can make his own rules up when it comes to being a champion, because no one's been a champion as long as Rollins. You could tally up the NXT champion, the World Heavyweight champion, and and the WWE Championship reigns. And I would bet you my role as general manager on this show that they aren't close enough. As a matter of fact, I'll do the math right now. What? 2 months from Marty's school? That's about what? 60 days, maybe 70 days? Okay. Maybe 200 days from Brock Lesnar? Okay. Maybe about the same from Bate? Alright, that's about 470. You're about 100 days off. Come on. This guy does as he pleases. I keep my job. Adam Cole can watch on right now and see, like I said at the beginning of the show, this isn't what he's going to learn at WrestleMania. This is what he's going to live at WrestleMania. The reality that no matter how hard he tries, he can't win the big one, and he's never going to win the big one against Rollins. No one is. That main event opportunity should have been Rollins last year's. He should have main evented. Okada should have chosen Rollins last year. But no, he had to go on first out of all the title matches. There is a reason why this guy won 66% of the vote for Superstar of the Year. Because he is the best. He's the greatest of all time. And I know I've got back on my bike for cheering Rollins since he's returned. But what Cole said last week really riled me up. I have no problem saying that. Not for a second. Here goes Austin Aries right now, though I'm going to turn my attention to the match. Adam Cole's watching on, and I'm sure he's going to be taking every note of what is going on in this match right now. Rollins clothesline into the corner. Austin Aries back elbow. Snap Miz him down. What are we going to see here from the greatest man that ever lived? Oh, uppercut right in the back there. Right in the crux of the neck there for Rollins to endure. Oh, but took too long. Didn't take advantage of the opportunity when it was in front of him, and he pays for it now. Rollins trying to turn him around. Big forearm in the face by Aries in response. Snap me. Took him off the mat with it as well. Rollins not looking to stay in this one for too long, though. Getting right up to his feet as quickly as he can. He didn't even have 2 months off to recover from the beat down from Corin and from whatever other injuries he may have sustained. Of course, we talked about how this reign had taken so much out of Rollins. Well, I wonder, with almost 2 months off, is Rollins back to being on top of his game now? Is he back to being at his absolute best? And the turnbuckle goes. Austin Aries, well, he's about to find out, isn't he? Because Rollins has him prepped up. Buckle bomb connects. But Aries responds right away. He may not have held a title in about 3 years, but that doesn't mean for a second that you don't know what it means to be one of the greatest of all time. Austin Aries sure well knows. Brainbuster denied. Rollins stopped it. Discus forearm. Aries goes down. Rollins goes up high, taking a risk. Phoenix Splash. Oh, how I've missed that move. And Rollins will look to seal the deal right now. Architect's Annihilation. Cover from the champion, and Rollins has done it. All it takes is one counter. All it takes is one reversal, and Rollins wins. Learn that one, Cole. Rollins victorious once more. Adam Cole needs to learn his message, because this is WrestleMania. Wait a minute, here he is! Here is Cole! The WrestleMania main event will stare down once more! And a lap of the ring done here. Another stare down between these two men after what's been said over the last 2 weeks. Cole walks past Rollins. Oh, what a way a champion should act, huh, Adam Cole? What a way a champion should act. You critique Rollins for not acting like a champion. You just showed no respect. You complain about respect and you don't show any. Adam Cole, you are walking into trouble at WrestleMania.